Not a lot needs to be said, man. That's an awful performance by us.
I'm completely lost. I've hit rock bottom.
All of those questions are reasonable given what we put out there.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Good question. I don't have the answer to it.
The script I was given?
Yeah.
That's the one I have to do?
Yeah, right.
Okay, let me see. Okay, bullshit, my line.
What goes through your mind when there's a crowd chanting to fire you in your home stadium?
Man, I share their frustration tonight, man.
Well, the way I figure it, we can either fight or give.
They could surrender to us, but I wouldn't count on that.
Kid, the next time I say let's go someplace like Bolivia, let's go someplace like Bolivia.
Next time.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Steel Sanctuary Podcast. I'm your host, David Burrow from SteelSanctuary.com. I've got Trent and Bob with me tonight. Dave is still in Disney with his family. He should be back next week. It's a good thing he wasn't here to see this because it was an embarrassing 26-7 loss to the Buffalo Bills. The Steelers are now out of first place again, 9th in the AFC now, as they tumble down the standings, and staring at the Baltimore Ravens on the road in their face for next week. Oh, where do we begin with this one, guys? Bad all the way around. Records were set. Boos were heard. They booed Renegade. Fire Tomlin was raining from the stands.
Yeah, but was Art Rooney even in the stadium?
Who knows? Who the fuck knows with that guy?
I mean, if he wasn't in the stadium, I know there's been some rumors circulating that, he'll never risk Fire Tomlin's chance at the draft. But if he's not in the stadium, he doesn't give a fuck. Why would he give a fuck if ESPN if they were chanting Fire Tomlin?
I think I saw that too, and I hadn't thought of that. I think that's his worst nightmare. I think that spurs movement, to be honest with you. He's already let it be known that draft means a lot to him. It's a big deal to him. I mean, if you believe the rumors, he wouldn't even allow them to trade draft picks because he wanted them all for the stupid draft coming up. So the last thing in the world he wants is, I don't know, how many people are supposed to be at this thing? 40, 50, 60,000 people at this draft or whatever it's going to be, chanting Fire Tomlin on national TV. So this is a big deal to me. I would have given Tomlin not being here a less than, what do you think, 80% chance that he wouldn't be here? Now I'm starting to move the other way.
I'd say it's gone from 99% back to, as much as we think it should happen, to maybe 90% back. Maybe it's moved the needle 5 to 10% for Art Rooney.
If we're just talking about Art Rooney?
Yeah.
He's going to need, I've said it all along. It has to all fall apart. If he gets to 8-9, 9-8, that's not good enough. Rooney's not going to fire him. I know it's painful to see these losses and be embarrassed. I know Steelers Nation hates it, but we need it. We need to bottom out. This thing has to flame up. That's the only way Mike Tomlin's leaving. Otherwise, it leaves Art Rooney just enough of an excuse to bring him back. So,
I know Sid has already asked for Optimus, Bob. So I said this yesterday in chat, and I'll say it now. 8-9 is probably going to win the AFC North.
Do you really want to see them make the playoffs at 8-9 and get their asses handed to them again in the playoffs? I don't want to see that anymore.
Well, do I want to see them make the playoffs? Technically, yes, because we would host the game. And nothing is more embarrassing than getting just destroyed in the playoffs, which is where his issue lies. I think if he misses the playoffs, they'll twist themselves into a pretzel to make an excuse for him to come back. That being said, I mean, this division is so bad, it's embarrassing. Whoever gets the first game. But last time somebody who had an embarrassing record and got in, and they started all this, they shouldn't be allowed to host a home game. Pretty sure that was the Saints, and they won. So, might have been the Buccaneers. Buccaneers might have had a losing record a couple of years ago with Brady and got in. But
no, Brady never had a losing record, I don't think.
I think they were 8-9 his last year.
I have to look it up. But anyway, Where do we start? Offense or defense?
I
'Cause it was-
don't know. I just want to say I think Richard's right on this. The team actually quit. That was the first time I think I've ever seen an NFL team quit in the third fucking quarter in a game that you were still technically in. They gave up.
As soon as Aaron Rodgers got sacked and
It was
got
over.
hurt, I think they quit.
It was over.
Maybe quit's a strong word, but they definitely got deflated after that because they knew he wasn't going to come back.
Just real quick, Brady was 8-9 his last year with the Bucs.
Was he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm going to do this first because this is Trent's boy, and I've been waiting all year for him to go him. So I'm going to hit you with the cold, hard truth right up front. Let me get the.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cam Hayward is the worst leader in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're crying because a quarterback kicked you in the belly. Oh, and you got really mad and didn't do shit. You held out. You would beg for incentives. You're not going to come anywhere close to him. I know Trent says you play at an all-pro level, and maybe you do, but you're an all-pro pussy. And you know what? You could throw that shit at Pickensburg and get all back and forth with him. Hey, man, no problem. Throw it at us. You want to come on here and defend yourself? Defend the fact that the only playoff game you ever won was because the remnants of the old Steeler defense was there. You don't perform in the playoffs. You don't perform in big spots. You lead a lazy, me fucking defense. And you know what? Ben should have been man enough to call you out to your face when he threw it out, that the reason he wanted to get out was because there were so many guys in the locker room who cared more about me than the team. He should have named your ass because you were the problem. Cam Hayward needs to go. TJ Watt has been a me guy. I've always said that. Cam Hayward's a me guy. We have too many me guys. You're mad about George Pickens. Well, maybe we should get rid of Cam Hayward and TJ Watt too. That's the cold, hard truth.
Woo!
I'm coming in hot.
I was going to ask you guys your opinion on that. I guess I don't need to go anymore, but I kind of felt the same way. He sounded like a whiny baby in that interview. That's the way he sounded to me. Like, Josh Allen need me, and now I can't protect myself, but everybody protects him. I'm like, come on. And it took him out of the game because he was John with Josh Allen the whole fucking game. He came off terrible in that interview.
Yeah, as much as I love Cam Hayward, that
it didn't.
There's no defense for that. I'm sorry, but he's also a guy who's taking shots at quarterbacks when they're on the ground. He likes to drop that little punch that he does.
Yeah.
Right in the same area that he was crying about with Josh Allen kneeing him. So I think that was a bit atrocious the way he responded to that. And then to cause your team a 15-yard penalty, which was one of three after the whistle penalties that we took on the defense. Maybe if you guys aren't getting pushed around, maybe if you guys aren't getting beat up, then you don't have to worry about crying about shit after the whistle. And this defense did get pushed around and it did get beat up. And I think some of it was schematics, but I think there was a lot of it that was effort. Now I will say this. I did watch the All-22 today. The Bills did not run at Cam Hayward. The only time they ran left with any effectiveness was when he was off the field. He did play well, but that moment and the moments afterwards where he was crying and all that, there's no place for that. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you would have went back to, the James Harrisons of the world, those guys would have never cried about that. They might have broke your face the next play. If you're Josh Allen, you may not have survived the game, but they wouldn't have had to do it after the whistle, and they wouldn't have had to do it crying to the media.
It's a terrible look for Cam. It's just a terrible look the way he did that. Just
I agree.
So did you guys hear Cook's interview after the game where he said they purposely tried to bounce outside because they don't think the Steelers' corners and secondary tackle? That was their whole game plan.
That was evident.
Joey Porter did have a couple nice tackles.
He also had a play with the Josh Allen touchdown where he gave minimal effort and then let go and kind of bounced away.
Yeah,
When
and
Josh-
by the way, just let me throw this in there. If you kick your captain and you cut me, wouldn't you fucking take his head off? Wouldn't you take his head off? He ran up the middle like 5 times after that. Wouldn't you just say, I don't give a shit if I get kicked out of this game? James Harrison would have took his fucking head off.
Well, I can't advocate for getting kicked out of the game because I gave Jalen Ramsey so much shit for it. I wouldn't want. That's I don't know. It's you want to get him back, make a play, make a big play. Get a sack, cause a fumble, do something. Which, Kim's always going to give you good effort. He's going to have good games, but make game deciding plays if you're that mad. Cause a fumble, do something. And he really didn't do anything to that measure. He like Trent said, he played okay, but this defense, I mean, for all the money they spend on it, and with a defensive head coach, I say in quotation marks, it's got a lot of holes and it's just bad. It's just bad. They stop the run one week, they give up pass. They stop the pass one week, they give up runs. Yesterday, you knew it was 35-mile-an-hour winds. We knew what the Bills were going to do. They ran. T.J. Watt said it. They ran the same play over and over and over again.
And they did.
And they couldn't stop it. This is ridiculous.
Speaking of effort, where in the fuck was T.J. Watt all game long? He got ran clean the fuck over the entire game. I mean, he got ran clean the fuck over. And I'm sorry, but for a guy who's been billed and has largely lived up to being a very elite run defender throughout his career, he wasn't getting blocked by the fucking tackles. He was getting blocked by tight ends.
And let's
and
not
he
forget.
couldn't make a play in the run game. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You just got paid. You sat out. You wanted all this money. You can't set the edge and stop James Cook from bouncing outside of your fucking shoulder 30 times? I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Like,
They set a record for most rushing yards in Pittsburgh against the Steelers since 1975. Since O.J. Simpson.
Also, a Buffalo Bill.
Yep.
But
It's embarrassing.
look, if you're
And
looking for a silver lining, they won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, well, they weren't in the Super Bowl this year. I can take that to the bank. Yeah, I tweeted it last night. T.J. Watt, we're going to look back on this and say it's one of the worst contracts ever given. That man is nowhere near a $40 million player. We see a $40 million player in the same division. That's a $40 million player.
He was a $40 million
Well,
player.
I don't care about was. He was compensated for that.
But we paid him. We paid him for what he did.
Exactly.
We all said we shouldn't pay him like they did. But, unfortunately, Art Rooney and Mike Tomlin weren't fucking. Look, Mike Tomlin has survived on TJ will make a play for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's his scheme. That's the defense.
Pretty much, yeah. And it was before with James Harrison and that crew. It was wait for those guys to make a play. James Harrison and Troy Polamalu to bail him out. And that's how he won games. And now he doesn't have that. They don't have that game wrecker on the defense right now. I mean, you could say Herbig a little bit, but he's not at that level yet. He might get there, but he's not there yet. So this is the result you get. Inconsistent, bad defense. And it's not going to change.
To Sid's point about this, and we're going to get to the chance, but I will say it wasn't instantaneous with Canada. It was a slow build. It took about a year and a half to get to the point where they were chanting everywhere.
Yeah. But now the fan base is already triggered from that. So I don't think it's going to take as long. If he goes, well, they already have 6 wins. If he goes 7-11 or 7-10, this team and loses 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5 going out. This fan base is going to lose their mind.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse if we go 9-8 or 8-9, make the playoffs, and get just obliterated at home.
You know what the worst possible scenario for the rest of the season is? They go 9-8 and they lose a close game in the playoffs. That gives Rooney and Tomlin all the excuses they need to go on forever. We can't. That's the worst case scenario. You lost, but you played pretty good. You still fucking lost. So,
You know what's correct? You know what? Oh, sorry, good. Didn't mean to cut you off.
go ahead. I'm done.
The craziest thing about this whole scenario is we have 6 wins. We are 6 of our last 17 games dating back to last year.
Yeah.
We
6
are
11 the last 17. Yep.
We have lost 5 of our last 7 games
Yes.
this year.
It's bad.
We started 4-1. That's not just a slide. That's a fucking cliff that we just dove headfirst off of with the division lead. And you can't get a team to play hard going into the second half of a game that you're winning against the playoff team that you might face. And you had to win the game. You can't finish it. You can't finish with effort in a game like that. This team is completely checked out. I mean, the 4th down play. Did you guys see Aaron Rodgers' reaction when Arthur Smith called the play in? Not after the fact.
I didn't.
Yeah.
He literally made a gesture like, "What the fuck are we doing right now?" When the play call came in, he went like this.
I got to go.
They ran it. And of course, everybody by now has seen the fact that we have a fucking 230-pound tight end trying to block Greg Rousseau, who, by the way, has had one of the worst blocking grades for a tight end in the history of PFF.
They should cut him tomorrow. He's just useless.
He's terrible. And then
He's
you see
not
Aaron
running the right
Rodgers
routes.
after that play, he does this, and he knew it wasn't going to work before it was called. He's pissed. He's over it, and the whole team is feeding off of it from both sides of the ball. I'm telling you, they're quitting.
Well, I loved it at his press conference after when he suggested that people aren't showing up to film sessions.
Yeah, it's he left it very gray though. Is it film session with a team, or is it because he said something about extra film sessions with just the receivers? And if that's not mandatory, they should still go, obviously, if you want to be committed to winning. And he didn't. I wish he would have named names. And he kind of hinted it was John Smith.
He kind of did.
Yeah.
But of course, all the Rodgers haters got on social media today. Oh, now he's throwing his teammates under the bus. Look, if you're saying as a 42-year-old quarterback that I'm willing to show up and do extra, he doesn't need extra film. But I'm willing to do extra film with you guys to show you where you should go. And, I think it was Kyle Brandt or somebody did a long soliloquy this morning on one of the shows where he clearly signaled choke to change the route at the goal line and Pat got the signal, Roman Wilson got the signal. They both ran the checked routes. Jonnu Smith just ran whatever the fuck he wanted to run.
Mm-hmm. He said it.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers said it in the press conference. I gave him the check to cut inside. He cut outside, and then Aaron said he's a professional and he's probably sick about it. Blah blah blah. But Jonnu Smith is useless. He can't block,
completely,
and he's not good in the pass game. So what? And you're not using Freiermuth. I'm not the biggest Freiermuth fan in the world. I think he's pretty slightly above average. But you don't throw him the goddamn ball. You don't design plays for him. He's your best pass catching tight end. What are you doing? The whole thing's fucked. The whole thing's fucked.
Look, I don't know what was worse. I had a colonoscopy this morning. I don't know what was worse. Watching the Steelers game, drinking the prep, or the colonoscopy itself. Yeah, I mean, I think watching the game and drinking the prep was worse. Because I had to start drinking it at the start of the third quarter. And, of course, you know what? It's probably my fault because I started drinking the prep. I should have waited till after the game.
So let's get back to TJ Watt for a minute because this is a good stat I saw on Twitter. Marcus Mosier put it out. 12 games the Steelers have played. In 5, TJ Watt has had less than 2 pressures. 2 pressures or less in 5 of the 12 games. It's awful. It can't happen for a $40 million edge rusher. That's not sacks. That's just pressures.
Yeah. Look, I was against firing Terrell Austin because he ain't the fucking problem. But at this point, okay, let's fire him and force Tomlin to call the defense, which Rooney won't do. He will not do it. He's not going to force Tomlin into the light. I mean, although, I've said on here a bunch of times, I don't think he's going anywhere until he breaks Chuck Noll's record. So root for the wins. But
yeah, I don't know. He's not going to get. It's going to take him 3 seasons to get that record at this point.
I don't know about 3. He only needs like 6 wins. I don't know about 3. It better not fucking take 3 seasons.
He needs 6. How many more do you think they get this year? 2?
I think they get 3. I do.
I don't think they get 3.
I think they find a way against the Browns. They find a way against the Dolphins, which is not a layup, but I do think they can beat the Dolphins. And I think they get 1 against the Ravens.
I'm not even convinced they're going to get 1 against the Ravens. I thought they were going to split with the Ravens too.
After
Ravens seeing that debacle last night.
The Ravens suck. They lost by 20 points to the Bengals.
Yeah, that's the Bengals with whatchamacallit back at quarterback.
Yeah.
It's not,
But they played the Bengals twice. They also played the Patriots. They played us twice. The Ravens could easily go 1-5 down the stretch. So could we.
I don't want to see this team in the playoffs. I don't want to see it. I don't want to go through it again. I don't want to go through it again. I'm just not. I can't do it anymore.
I know we've been joking around about this the whole time. I'm dead serious. I'd give the ball to Will Howard at this point and say, what are you going to do?
100%. See what you got in him.
I think if you lose this game, that's the right move. If you lose to the Ravens and go 6-7, fall a game behind, yeah, give them the last 4 games and see what happens.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even wait. What the fuck's Rodgers doing? I'll be honest with you. The Bills were in 9-man box. 9 fucking guys in the box.
Yeah,
the entire first and second quarter, daring us to throw the ball over top. And if Aaron Rodgers has any confidence in himself, he has any game left in him, you check the fuck out of your run play and you let the ball rip downfield. Imagine anybody having the audacity to try that with him in Green Bay ever through any part of his career in Green Bay.
No.
Never. You'd get fucking smoked. He'd put up 70 fucking points on you if you tried that shit. Here, no problem.
But the sad truth is that even in his worst Green Bay rosters, the receivers were 10 times better than what we have. You don't think he knows? You can see the look on his face when he walks up to the line and says, okay, I should do this, but who the fuck am I going to throw the ball to?
He's not.
He could throw it to Roman Wilson, who's been fucked. He was open another 3 times this game for a touchdown. He threw the 1 out of bounds.
It's such a multifaceted problem. It goes from Tomlin putting the clamps on Arthur Smith calling a bad game, Omar Khan not getting a second wide receiver. It's Aaron Rodgers being 40-something years old and a little bit brittle. It's all of it. It's all of it. I got some stats about him last night.
We can't blame the wind when Josh Allen had no fucking problem throwing through the wind. What ball did he sail?
He didn't throw the ball hardly at all, and he didn't throw the ball down the field at all.
He threw it 23 times. I think Aaron Rodgers threw it 24 times.
Yeah, and if you look, he didn't throw the ball downfield once. He didn't throw the ball. There were no deep passes. Everything was little outs.
He had a couple down the middle, but
but not deep down the middle. 10 yards.
Aaron Rodgers had 10 completions yesterday. 5 of them went more than 2 air yards.
Yeah.
5 of them were behind the line of scrimmage.
And when it was
10 completions,
it's
awful, dude.
When it's 23-7, he gets the ball back. He throws it to Darnell over the middle. That was a nice.
Yeah, the Bills were in like a prevent. They were just letting them run clock.
Yeah.
Not prevent, but they were off coverage. They weren't playing their regular defense.
But he still completed the pass. And he showed that, hey, if I just go into 2-minute and run what I want to run, I can find some guys.
I know they were saying that on a broadcast, but I'm not buying that either.
Look, they were showing from behind. Romo was showing the replays. Who the fuck's he going to throw to? Look, where are you going to throw this ball?
There was times like that.
There was plays like that for sure. And you know what? That comes back to the coaching too, because why are we running 3 tight ends and 2 of them are split out like receivers? And we continue to try this shit, and they never get open.
Yeah. This is what they want. This is what Tomlin wants. This is his dream offense. Dream offense. Garbage everywhere. Well, conservative play.
They highlighted the one where DK was, Rodgers held the ball. DK was going to break out, and he fell. And you could see Rodgers had to kind of double clutch it. He was about to let it go. Otherwise, it's a pick. I mean, did Rodgers play great? No. But, I mean, all you had to do is watch the guy who came in for a series and know he's the only chance we got.
Well, you're right. There's nobody behind him.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying just play Will Howard and see what you have in the kid. And then you know how high the priority for quarterback is next year.
Yep. Oh, it's high. I was just going to say it's
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like Aaron is not coming back in this offense.
I don't want him back. He's not. He's not the guy.
No, me either. But early in the season, we were having that conversation about trying to get him back for one. Fuck that. I don't want him back, and he sure shit ain't gonna want to be back.
I don't think he wants to come back and play this. That look he had in the sideline. I texted you guys. It's a look of, regretting life choices. Coming here he's thinking to himself, this is a terrible idea. I can be in California in shorts.
Be in Minnesota in a dome.
Or that too. That wasn't him. I think Minnesota did. That's on Minnesota for not offering him a contract because I think he was holding out, hoping Minnesota would, and they didn't.
Could you imagine if they did have him right now, though?
That's a fact right there.
The team does need to rebuild. Yeah, it does. But I think I forget who I saw on a podcast this morning when I was watching it. It was like Tomlin put a Band-Aid on with Fields. He put a Band-Aid on with Wilson. He put a Band-Aid on with Rodgers. He put a Band-Aid on and they need surgery, and they're not going to do it until Tomlin is thrown out of the building.
That's what I'm saying. I've been saying it all year.
Welcome to the Kyler Murray Steelers.
Yeah. Kyler Murray or San Francisco's backup. Whatchamacallit, that played New England. That's what's going to be next year.
Look, if you told me Clint Kubiak is the head coach with Mac Jones as the quarterback, I don't want that. I don't think that.
I still don't. I want a real quarterback, and I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to pass on this draft to make sure we get a good one in the next draft because I'm not convinced this class is going to be. If Dante Moore comes out, I know Trent loves him, and I like him too. He's going number 1 overall, and you don't have a shot at him. So now we're back again to either.
I personally love Fernando Mendoza. I would be all about having him.
I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback. I don't.
I do. He's a big, tall, rangy guy. Got a lot of mobility, and he's got moxie. The game he played awful in. He came back in that game, and let's face it, he's playing for fucking Indiana. Indiana sucks.
No,
and
they
he's got them in the national championship.
They got a couple of good wide receivers on that team. They got a great coach.
Yeah. They're the number 2 team in the nation also, Bob. I don't know if you're aware, but they're not exactly a shit school.
Well, before he got there, where
was Cignetti?
Yeah, they were definitely
after he leaves, where are they going to be?
Well,
you're talking about Kurt Cignetti, not Fernando Mendoza, right?
Yeah. I'm
Cignetti's the coach.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Mendoza Stagnetti, let's bottom line. What were they, 8-3 playing in the Liberty Bowl? I mean, big fucking deal.
They were in the college football playoff last year without Fernando Mendoza. This isn't just Mendoza. This is the coach. He was.
And I heard they've already got a quarterback lined up in the transfer portal. I was reading something the other day. One of these kids at a smaller school that's pretty good. He's got it rolling now. He's going to have that team good for a while.
Look, there's no bigger Lenoris Sellers fan. I have touted him.
He's going back to school.
I have said it for months. Lenoris Sellers, if he comes out, is a bust. If he goes back to school, he's a star.
He's going back to school. This is not the year to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Even if I grant you Mendoza, he's not getting out of the top 5 either. And we're not getting in the top 5 unless you're willing to mortgage 3 first-round picks.
I think
to get up there.
I think Ty Simpson will go before Mendoza. I think if Dante Moore comes out, it'll go more Simpson, and I think Mendoza could be had in the 6 to 10 range.
I don't think so. There's a lot of quarterback desperate teams. I think all 3 of them go in the top 5. Honestly, there'll be trades.
You got to trade up to get them, but remember the Steelers haven't picked higher than 8th since they picked Terry Bradshaw number 1 overall in 1970.
I know, but
so this thought of us somehow getting a top 5 pick,
we'll never get one with Tomlin. We'll never get one with Tomlin. That's what the Tomlin hamster wheel.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
we're
you
just
never
gonna
got
keep going.
one
I
with
keep saying
Nolan
it.
Cower either.
No. But, well, with Cower, at least you got down to, what was it? What they picked?
Eighth.
Ben. 8, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no, they
we-
picked Ben 11th.
I was gonna say, but we picked Ben in one of the best quarterback classes
That's
that's
what I
come out in
mean.
a long time. So
Wait till 27 when that class
Yeah.
is loaded. Just wait. Be patient. Wait. It's
Yeah, but
worth
if
it.
you got look, you want a real nightmare scenario? They signed
on.
Kyler Murray, and they win 10 games, 11
Yeah.
games with Kyler Murray. Kyler
That is
Murray is
amazing.
young. I mean, comparatively. And then all of a sudden they decide, hey, Kyler Murray's our quarterback for the next 5 years. Then we don't draft anybody. Then
Yeah,
what
well-
the fuck happens?
well, the good news is apparently our receivers don't go to film room. Neither does fucking Kyler Murray. So that film room is gonna be pretty clean by the time the staff gets in there.
Oh, man.
I
I told you guys on Monday about the one and only thing they had to concentrate on was stopping Cook. I said it starts and ends with Cook, and they didn't fucking listen to me because he went off, and they went off. Oh,
Fire Smith and Austin, fire Tomlin. Tyrone,
Yes.
welcome to the podcast. You have found a home, buddy. We
Yes,
have
you
been
have.
preaching this since forever.
I would if it were me, I'd go right down the line. Omar's gone. Weidl's a GM. Tomlin's gone. Find a new coach. Cam's gone. TJ's gone. We're starting fresh. We're starting over. Period. End of story. Patrick
Yeah,
Queen can tell his story walking too. He can go.
You're
Start
one
over.
off. You're one off on the GM. I mean, Tomlin's got to go. We can
I'm
see
not.
what Omar can do with the power. And then the real problem is Art Rooney must retire. Art Rooney must retire. I'm about it. I've been saying it for years that Terry Bradshaw was right about Tomlin way back when, that he's just a cheerleader. But until Art Rooney goes, Tomlin does not go. Art Rooney doesn't have the stones, or he's got something on him to get rid of him.
I agreed with you up until yesterday. Now, with the draft thing and people saying fire Tomlin, which I never thought I'd hear in the stadium. I never thought I'd hear it. This thing's going to ratchet up quick. 2 more losses. If they lose 3 in a row and lose to the Ravens, which is in Baltimore, the next game's at home, this place is going to be a fucking zoo. They fall behind, it's over. It's the Dolphins after that, right?
Oh yeah, the first 3 and out where we do a delayed draw on 3rd and 8, or a check down on 3rd and 8, and we don't even try to get past the sticks.
They're bullet renegade last night.
Yeah,
which they should be. You're down 26-7. Who gives a fuck at that point?
Yeah. Somebody didn't read the room on that one.
It was 23-7. Technically, it was a
23-7,
2-score game.
It's still, give me a break.
And look, bottom line is 23-7. They get the ball. Aaron marches them right down the field, gets them inside the 10. And we've already talked about it, but the asinine, ridiculous play call on 4th and 2, I mean, it didn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden, he marches you down the field throwing the ball. Throw the fucking ball.
I've done a complete 360 on Arthur Smith. I started out hating it. Then little by little, I'm like, well, he's pretty serviceable. He's not bad. And I'm right back to he sucks again. I'm right back to where I started from. He has a pretty good script, first 15, 20 plays, and then he's shit for the rest of the game.
Was he shit, or is he being influenced?
We never know. We'll never know the true answer to that. I have a feeling you're right. But I put he wasn't that great in Atlanta, and now he's doing this shit here.
He was the offense wasn't really the problem in Atlanta. Their quarterback play was awful.
They didn't have good quarterback play. You're right. They had terrible quarterbacks. And I don't know who's responsible for drafting. It probably wasn't him alone, obviously.
To be honest with you, the guy who Arthur Smith wanted is the guy, and as bad as it's been in New York, Arthur Smith and Justin Fields were a marriage made in heaven, and we threw it away. And look, do I think we'd be some juggernaut offense? But look, Tannehill was not great before Arthur Smith. He wasn't great after Arthur Smith, but he had that little window as a big mobile quarterback where he looked really good. And I would have liked to have seen the Fields experiment, but
Did you hear the latest out of New York though? They want him to do a Taysom Hill role, and he refused. He said, "I'm not doing that," which makes sense because I wanted them to kind of use that. Once they went to Russell Wilson, I wanted him to use Justin Fields in that way, and he probably told Steelers no too. He doesn't want. He thinks he's a quarterback, which he's not.
Look,
he's Taysom Hill at best.
He's not a tight end.
Well, Taysom Hill was quarterback, running back. They use him in the slot.
Yeah, but his position is tight end.
Yeah, but that's not the way they use him.
Yeah,
they use him all over the place. All right, so he doesn't have to play tight end, but he can do other things to help the team because he's not a quarterback either.
If you're willing to build the team around him and recognize his very limited skills,
yeah, that ship sailed up. He's not a quarterback.
He could do what Jackson Dart does. He could sit in the
can't even do
and
that.
run RPOs all day long.
He's failed in 3 different places. Well, you can argue whether he failed.
Did he fail in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, you can make an argument, but the Jets gave him every opportunity, and he shit the bed.
Well, he did win some games.
He sucks. He's just terrible.
What's sad? If you take out the red zone numbers, he was better than Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers has been in between the 20s. Name me one game that we've had between Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers against a winning team like what Justin Fields put up against the Colts last year. Because he went off against the Colts.
Yeah.
Crickets. Yeah.
I see
right.
Facts Only is coming around to my point of view. I started saying this a couple of weeks ago. I do not believe that there is a trade market for Mike Tomlin.
I totally disagree with
that's just not true.
I saw a guy from one of the Miami newspapers on Twitter saying he would love to get Mike Tomlin over there. He's the perfect guy to change the culture in Miami, blah, 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 blah. There's like a half a dozen teams are going to fall for that bullshit. Mike Tomlin's going to come here, change the culture, make us a winner, blah, blah, blah. They'll talk themselves into, wide receivers stunk in Pittsburgh. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. That's why Mike Tomlin's not doing well. Little do they know, not one decision in Pittsburgh doesn't get thumb stamped by Mike Tomlin. Not one fucking decision.
Yeah, exactly.
When
draft, free agent, everything.
When Stephen A. Smith, a Tomlin sycophant, gets on, and if you didn't watch his rant this morning, go watch it.
Well, he's a Steelers fan, so you could see him going crazy because he watches these games like the rest of us do.
Yeah.
And just gets frustrated.
So I'm telling you,
He also said at the end of that there would be a minimum of 20 teams lined up waiting to get Tomlin if he gets let go.
Which is a lie. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie.
20.
I don't know about 20, but
every single team with a coach in opening would want Mike Tomlin. Every single one. No matter,
I bet there's 10 teams.
Pick the number. And some with coaches that I bet would fire their coach to get
give
Mike
up
Tomlin.
a first-round draft pick? I don't think there's any.
Oh yeah,
there is.
Who would give up a draft pick if he was available, like completely available? I don't have to give anything up. I'd be inclined
even
to
for a
agree
draft pick.
Somebody will take a chance. They won't, because the Bears are probably thanking their lucky fucking stars that they didn't.
New Orleans. The coach of Denver got a first-round pick from New Orleans. Got a first-round pick from. He had losing seasons, controversies, the whole 9 yards, and they gave him a first-round pick for him.
Hadn't even coached in a year,
and he skipped and he sat out a year.
Yeah,
on purpose to because he wanted to go to Dallas.
But Bob, the thing is, there are owners in this league that would sell a first-round pick to get a guy who is not going to have a losing season. They don't give a shit about the playoffs. It's revenue. It is a guy who's competing, even though we hate it here because the messaging is all gone stale. They would rather pay to get asses in their seats, to sell their memorabilia, all that stuff, like just to get Tomlin in the building will change the win-loss record. They don't care if he goes 9-8 because their franchise probably hasn't gone 9-8 in fucking 6 years. They'd rather go 9-8. They'd give a first-round pick for that.
And I keep saying it. Tomlin still hasn't had a losing season yet. He still might pull this off.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. if you're the Cardinals, do you give up
Well,
a first round pick?
If they fire their coach,
He's a young coach. Depends if they keep him around another year. This is year 2 for him, or
Well,
3.
Yeah,
Gannon?
he's on the hot seat. He's on the hot
if they
seat.
fire him, they would.
If-
And
yes.
the Cardinals are dysfunctional, so
Yes.
more than likely
It's
they
the
will fire him.
perfect situation I'm talking about. Dolphins all day. That
For sure.
owner is desperate for a winning team.
Yes.
Desperate. The Falcons, desperate
No,
for a win. They
they-
don't have a first round pick, unfortunately, but
I don't
they're going to
think-
fire that coach. They're going to fire that coach.
Um,
He lost to the Jets yesterday.
And
Yeah.
Raheem Morris and Mike Tomlin are close. They're very close in personality. The difference is Tomlin's been a more successful head coach than Raheem Morris has been.
Yeah, Atlanta would have run the risk if they hired Tomlin of him keeping Raheem Morris on as a defensive coordinator. they really would.
But would that
That's
be a
possible.
bad thing for them? He wasn't a bad defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah. And that might be the first legitimate defensive coordinator the Steelers have had, Mike Tomlin's had since LeBeau.
Yeah. I mean, that would almost be a win-win for Atlanta.
Well,
Um,
Atlanta doesn't have a first round pick, right?
No, they don't.
No, because they traded it away.
I'll
if we're doing
I'll take their 27 first round pick, and they
Yeah.
can keep anything this year. I'll take their 27.
Look, would you take a first round pick from the Browns?
100%.
Yeah,
I
would
drive 'em to
absolutely
Cleveland.
do it.
and
I'd
then I
drive to
would
Cleveland.
I'd actually rather have Stefanski as a head coach than fucking Tomlin anyway. At least he coaches offense
Tennessee would do it in a heartbeat. And
instantly.
it's the first pick overall, so you might have to take a 27 instead of a 26. But yeah, they do it in a heartbeat. New Orleans, they
even-
just hired a coach.
In that scenario, even if you take the first pick of the second round, that's almost like having a first
Yeah,
round pick.
I'd hold out for a 27 first.
But yeah,
The Giants 100% would. 100% would.
I don't think they would because they got Jackson Dart and they're not going to bring in.
No, they do it. They do it in a heartbeat.
I'm telling you, the
Cleveland-
market for him is overrated because
It's
of
not.
people have
It
caught
really isn't.
on to because he does not win playoff games. That's why I said if you think the market's dry, if he goes 6-11, message is stale, change of scenery, blah blah blah. They go 9-8, win the division, get blown out in the playoffs. I'm telling you, there's not going to be a market. I'm telling you, there's not going to be a market.
We won't have to argue about this too much longer, but I agree to disagree. I completely disagree. I think there's
there's a market.
there's a big market.
Yeah, it's like John asked earlier, what would you take for a TJ Watt package? There's no TJ Watt package.
There's no.
No, that ship might have sailed.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. You might.
He's a second round pick at this point.
I don't even think you get a second anymore. Honestly,
You do. He's been double teamed. I mean, he's almost double the next closest guy in double teams.
if I get offered a second round pick, I am jumping.
Well,
Yeah.
Look, you know what they really should have done is they really should have traded Hayward while they could get some value for him too.
You could probably get a third or fourth for Hayward in the right situation. He's still putting up good tape, man.
Yeah.
He's still putting up good tape. Maybe it might be a fourth because he's that far up in age, but I take a fourth for him.
I mean, at this point, play all the young guys. Say, fuck it. Just come out and say there was a
Green Bay's
time
got-
when
God, sorry.
there was a time when Tomlin did that when they transitioned from, Aaron Smith and Kiesel and all them, and he started playing Cam, where he just came out and said, "Hey, here's the starter. Here's the starter," and they put Cam Hayward in the lineup. Do it again. Derek Carmen, YA didn't have a great game yesterday, but he's young. I think he'll be okay.
He actually played better as the game went on.
Yeah,
He started out rough.
he had a
The
bad
run
start.
defense. The run defense falls apart without Derek Carmen. I
Yeah.
think I was looking it up. Their three worst run games were when Derek Carmen was out. The Jets ran up and down on him. Seattle ran up and down on him, and now this game. And Derek Carmen was missing for all three of those. They fall apart without him, and I don't know why. You still have Cam Hayward in there.
They ran away
Both
from
team-
him all game.
Yeah, I guess
I mean,
that's it.
that's all it is.
I
They
guess
ran
that's
away from him the entire game. They ran straight at TJ Watt. Joey Porter Jr. had no contain. He was 10 yards off. That's why Cook was able to bounce outside. I mean, hell, I was watching. I'm like, where in the hell is the second half adjustment to this play? Because they've ran the same damn play every single time, and they brought Duggar down to the line of scrimmage. But you know where they lined him up? You would think they'd line him up outside of TJ since they ran his ass over, and they ran outside of TJ the whole game. No, they put him inside of fucking TJ Watt.
to get
That was the
trapped inside
adjustment.
the Met. Yeah.
So the same fucking guy who blocked TJ was blocking fucking Duggar. I'm like, what in the hell are we doing? The whole coaching staff just needs to fucking go.
They do.
All three of them, both coordinators, Tomlin, clean the
wouldn't say
fucking
that.
house and just get moving on. This is it's atrocious.
There's not one I would keep in this coaching staff. Not one. They can all go. Pat Meyer, see you later. Austin,
Yep.
goodbye. Arthur Smith, goodbye.
Mhm.
They're all terrible, and that's on Mike Tomlin. He picked all these clowns. He picked them all.
Which is again why I don't think there's the market that you think he is. I mean,
Hand-picked
DMs are
clown
not
show.
dumb. They're looking at, holy shit, if he comes, unless you could get it to where you get a real strong GM. The culture in Pittsburgh is always murky. Nobody knows, although we kind of all know. Tomlin's making all the decisions. I mean,
For sure.
other than the drafts, Tomlin's making all the decisions. Because I cannot believe that, and kudos. Here's where you should have kudos to Omar, is he does all this stuff in free agency at the fucking head coach's behest, but he has not wounded the salary cap. We are wide open every year.
He's a cap guy. That's what he is. I told Dave Korub this the other day. You go on Google and Google Weidl's resume and Google Omar Khan's resume. And you tell me why Andy Weidl's the assistant general manager on this team and Omar Khan's the general manager. Explain it to me.
Because Omar worked for the Steelers for a long time and
did nothing.
him. But to Omar's credit, he knew what he didn't know. He went and convinced his main rival for the job because they were the finalists, Weidl and he convinced him to work for him as the assistant GM. You don't think Andy Weidl can have a GM job in the NFL?
What, do you think he enjoys working for Omar Khan as a backup?
He must, because he's very happy here.
I've had it with the Omar Khan stuff. He's a token general manager. That's all there is.
Oh,
Look at his resume.
At least he didn't
Look at his
miss on
resume.
draft picks for 10 years where the fucking team went to shit.
What is his resume? He's been a cap guy from the day he got in the league till then. He's a cap guy. He's an office guy.
His resume is
Period.
3 drafts, and then more people will sign from
Andy
his first draft
Weidl.
than Khan did, and then Comer
Andy,
had in his
you
last
can't tell me he scouted
year.
any of those guys. He couldn't scout a freaking. He could scout a dollar bill. That's what he could do. He's a
drafted
cap
him.
guy. He drafted him. He all of a sudden had an epiphany and became a scout when he got hired. He had never done it before in his life.
Oh, just guess
Give me
what?
a break.
He didn't
I'm
draft
so tired
fucking
of it.
Kenny Pickett. I mean,
I'm so tired of it.
he didn't draft Kenny
Oh,
Pickett.
but he was assistant general manager, right? But he's
didn't
clean
draft
on that
Najee
decision.
Harris in the first round.
He was there for that too. He was clean on that decision. Oh
He didn't
no,
draft
he was a
Najee
cap guy
Harris
then,
in the
right?
First round. Didn't draft Terrell Edmonds in the first round.
Didn't draft Ben Roethlisberger in the first round either. Didn't draft Troy
15 years
Polamalu in the
ago.
first round.
15 years ago.
Didn't draft
20 years ago.
George Pickens in the second round. Stop it! I don't want to do this anymore. It's the dumbest argument in the world to me. Omar Khan is, you guys. I don't know where you got this notion from. He went on 3 interviews, couldn't get a general manager job. He never did the job. He never scouted. He never was a pro personnel guy. He never did anything. He was a fucking cap guy his entire career.
He's pulled
Period.
off 3 good drafts and a bunch of good trades.
He
So,
did.
okay.
He drafted him. 100%.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep this thing going long, but let's just say this: if Mike Tomlin would run the team the way that Omar Khan is running the front office, we might be in a better fucking position. If you just find the guys who know what you don't know, which he did with Andy Weidl. I mean, we can all admit he
Andy
was.
Weidl, or did Rooney hire Andy Weidl to make sure he didn't
Khan
fuck up?
hired Andy
Khan,
Weidl
I think
in his first-
everything I read said Khan went after Weidl.
I think he was told to hire Andy Weidl because Andy Weidl interviewed for the job too. He was one of the interviews.
Yeah, they were the 2 finalists for the job.
Yeah.
Again, the last thing I'm gonna say is go look at their resumes and you tell me why one is, because one carries Mike Tomlin's water and the other one helps him carry Mike Tomlin's water.
And one guy did all his best work with Bill Cowher.
What are you talking about?
Kevin Colbert did all his best work with Bill Cowher.
Just stop it.
All right, how about this, Dave? Once you talk about your poll you put out there, speaking of Cowher.
It was a landslide poll. I asked on Twitter who was a better Steelers coach at this point. Was it Mike Tomlin or Bill Cowher? Bill Cowher, 91% to 9.
It's not even close.
No.
I would say
And-
this.
Go
Go ahead.
I leaned to Tomlin up until these last couple of years. And I didn't think it was fair, some of the stuff they said, he won with Cowher's players, blah, blah, blah. I think Tomlin is a good coach who's gotten stale, who's got too much power. Well, a lot of shit's gone to his head, thinks he can do it all. And I think a change of scenery is exactly what he needs. A wake-up call that he needs. I think he's a pretty good coach. Not a great strategist, but we can't ignore the fact that all these games he's won over the years.
Guys who aren't a great strategist, though, are typically good coaches of coaches. He is not that.
He's not that either. No.
So
He's an egomaniac is what he is now.
he's he's not a good strategist, and he's not good at developing coaches. What the fuck's he gonna? He's gonna sit at the press conference. Okay, big deal. I'm not gonna belabor the point, but I'm telling you, this guy is beyond overrated. I rank him as the 4th best Steelers coach in Steelers history.
Oh, come on.
No.
You can't do that, Paul.
I'll justify it easily. No, 4 Super Bowls, unquestioned number 1. Nobody's ever topping that. Cowher number 2. Jock Sutherland, who only coached the team for 1 year and had their only playoff appearance and also won 4 national championships at Pitt back in the 40s. I'll take him. He died right after the season. I'll take him over Tomlin, and then I'll put Tomlin
Jesus
fourth.
Christ. You can't bring a guy
So we're putting
40s up.
we're putting a guy who coached for 1 season ahead of Mike Tomlin.
1 season, made the playoffs.
So wait.
Also
So
won 4
hold on, Bob.
national
Hold on. By your
championships at
logic, if Tomlin would have won that Super Bowl with Cowher's guys and walked away, could he have maybe finished 3rd?
Pitt. Maybe. Probably.
That's just nuts.
The fan base is clearly
Yeah.
done with Tomlin. They're
Yeah.
done.
I mean, I think the other thing between Cowher and Tomlin, aside from the in-game stuff, is Cowher had the respect of his players. They showed up for meetings. We never heard this shit about Cowher's players. They always came to the meetings. They always went to the film room. They were in bed check on time. He never had the issues that Tomlin has. And I know the game has kind of changed since then. The players and personalities have kind of changed since then. But he was an authoritarian.
He was.
He was a very big authoritarian, and he didn't take shit from nobody. And Tomlin, I think at this point, and Tomlin did get away with a lot of this stuff early on, being the players' coach. But as these players have changed, there are a lot of players who are coming into the league much more immature now than before because of social media, everything that kind of goes on now. So therefore, I think that Tomlin has let it get way too lackadaisical at this point, to where he's not even trying to be the authoritarian and rein some of this in, and that's why guys are walking all over him.
What is this?
Come on live.
Come on live and talk shit about Mike Tomlin. We'd love to hear it. We talk shit about Tomlin every time because he deserves it.
My Magic must have a podcast. Hey, drop your podcast in the comments. We'll be happy to promote you, man. Just do the same for us.
I don't know. I think we're being a little harsh on Tomlin here. As mad as I am
harsh
at him.
on Tomlin.
As far as the 4th best coach in the team history.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
Well, you guys don't know who Jock Sutherland is. I wrote a lot of articles about this guy. He won 6 national championships actually at Pitt.
But
who the fuck cares about that in Pittsburgh Steelers history, Bob?
Plus, it's
he coached 1 season and died. The only playoff appearance that they had from 1933 to 1972 was Jock Sutherland. 1 season with a team that sucked before he got there and sucked after he got there. He turned that around in 1 year and made the playoffs.
Yeah, Tyrone brings it up. He is a good coach. It's just time. I can't get it because let's keep this moving too fast. It's just time. He needs to find another. It's time to move on. He's been here how long? What are we at now?
19
years?
Long
I was going to say 16. I'm already shorting it. It's time. messages get stale.
It's been some time since 2018 when he
I agree.
faked that punt against
100%.
the Saints and cost them the playoffs, and then AB and all that blew up. It's been time since then. That's when it happened. And I've been saying for 7 years now he should go.
I'm right there with you. I think
First 10
2018.
years, no
I
problem.
was actually pretty late on the fire Tomlin train. I was. I'll admit that. I mean, it wasn't until the last couple of years where I've jumped on this idea now.
It just, and maybe it's because I'm here in New England, but he was so badly outcoached by Belichick every single time. Like the gap between those two guys was so wide. I got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. And I know Belichick did that to a lot of people, but they walked into games like you lost before you even got on the field. They had no chance because it was just that bad. And that just frustrated the hell out of me. And some of the dumb stuff like Bob said, the New Orleans game, and I was just, I got tired of it.
See, it's hard to, and I know your proximity probably makes it difficult, even more difficult, but like Bill Belichick is at worst the top 5 coach of all time.
He is.
He's probably in the top 3 of all time.
When you look back at those games,
Bill,
I know
Bill Walsh, in my opinion, is the top ever. I think he's the best coach ever. I mean, you might throw Lombardi in there, maybe in the second spot.
Quarterback question here.
It's hard to put Lombardi anywhere but number 1 because Green Bay was a joke. It was a threat to players in the league that we trade you to Green Bay, and he turned that into 6 titles in 10 years.
It's tough to do eras too.
It is. I just think Walsh, I mean, he changed the entire schematics of offensive football, and we're still using it today. I mean, 50 years later, we're still using the same schemes that Walsh came up with. That's for me, that's different. You're crossing generations in that level.
Right. Well, they're still running Lombardi sweep from the 60s. Now, that being said, I would tell you the coaches of the coaches, like Madden and guys like that, even Bill Walsh would tell you that guy was can you imagine, just real quick, kind of an aside, in the 1950s, okay, a guy named Steve Owen was the coach of the New York Giants, and they won a couple championships. The offensive coordinator on that team was Vince Lombardi. You know who the defensive coordinator was? Tom Landry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how good that fucking team was? That's a pretty stout coaching staff right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's address Dave's question. If Cowher coaches Ben his whole career, how many Super Bowls do the Steelers have?
I say 4.
I agree. Actually, that's the number that kept popping in my head.
That's kind of crazy because it's the number I had in my head too.
Yeah,
it's crazy. We all thought the same thing.
Yeah, four literally was the first number that popped in my head. And I'm like, man, that sounds like a lot. And I was second guessing it myself. And
Coach has 3. The one thing Cowher did was hire good coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between him and Tomlin in a nutshell.
Yep.
Cowher always had good coordinators. He didn't have to be, it didn't have to all run through him. But Mike Tomlin, that's his problem right now. He wants to win his way with his style, and he doesn't want any outside influence. He wants his guys, and that's it.
I'll tell you what doesn't happen if you keep Cowher. There is no Todd Haley in Pittsburgh because there is no Art Rooney going to Mike Tomlin saying you got to protect Ben, because Bill Cowher would have said, get the fuck out of my office, okay? You ain't your dad. You don't know football. Get the fuck out, okay? He might not have kept Bruce Arians, but Cowher would have moved on naturally. Bruce Arians probably would have got a head coaching job off of Bill Cowher much sooner than he got one with the whole Indy situation.
Cowher had to retire. And
I tell you, he probably also let Dick LeBeau go probably a year before the Tebow debacle. I think Cowher would have recognized he lost his fastball.
Yeah, he had lost his fastball at that point.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bill Cowher, Dan Campbell is the Bill Cowher of today's NFL.
Exactly. It's a good comp.
They're one for one. And look at the success he's had. So if you want to talk about, I know Campbell hasn't finished yet, but injury aside, If he didn't have the injuries he had last year, that team was going to compete with Philly.
Yeah, the injuries killed him last year for sure. 100%.
They definitely were going to compete with Philly. So
he's had injury bad luck almost his entire coaching career over there. The Detroit's been snake bitten with injuries.
And
I mean, they lost their whole damn defense last year, basically.
Yeah, they did.
Early in his career, Cowher cost himself a Super Bowl with some less than stellar play within a few AFC championship games.
I was going to say, if we're honest, he was terrible in the AFC championship game.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Until he wasn't.
Well, he won 3, right?
He started out 1-4, and he ended up, I think, 3-4.
Yeah, he won 3. Yeah, there was a while there where he was bad.
Yeah.
They lost to the Chargers that year. They never should have lost.
And look, every time I hear the quarterback argument about Tomlin, this drives me up the wall. You know who Bill Cowher was taken to the AFC championship game? Neil O'Donnell.
Super Bowl.
Cordell Stewart. Yeah. They were, and don't hit me with, Cordell was before his time. Yeah, he was before his time. All right. He should have been an option quarterback in Nebraska.
Nah, he's a little better than that. He was a little better than that, but he struggled.
He definitely struggled.
He's
the master of the bounce pass. Yeah. Should have played basketball.
He should have stayed at wide receiver because he could have been an all-pro wide receiver.
He might have been a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Which is why Justin Fields, I guess, maybe should consider it.
At this point. Or at least help the team out. Anything else from the game that we're missing? It was pretty bad. The worst loss?
Can you name a player that played well? Let's start with that.
That's what I'm getting to. It's like all 3 phases.
Baldy did do a thing on Nick Herbig on social media today on X. It was worth the watch. I mean, did Nick Herbig play a perfect game? No, but Baldy made the point he felt like Nick Herbig was the only guy playing defense.
I can buy that. I can buy that. Oh, we should talk about the injuries a little bit. It looks like Broderick Jones is out for the season now. Oh, man. He's been put on IR, and it doesn't sound like he's in any shape or form to come back. James Pierre had a concussion yesterday, so we might see Slay against the Ravens next week. Holy crap.
Well, Asante Samuel did go outside.
He did.
I was very curious when he went down, I was curious to see if they would have moved Eccles outside because he's played a lot more outside until, they moved Ramsey back to safety, or if they would have let Samuel go outside. They put Samuel outside, so that's going to be interesting to see if they trust him going into a full game against the Ravens.
Yeah. And who else was in? Let me pull it back up. So Patrick Queen went out of the game. Seems like it's just a back contusion, though. He might be good to go for Baltimore.
Which he's actually played the first game last year. He played pretty well against Baltimore. The second game, not so much. So I do like the idea of Queen, if he's healthy, being the spy for Lamar. I thought he played pretty well in that role last year.
Mm-hmm. Harmon being ruled out so early this week makes me worried that he's got a more serious injury than they're letting on, and he might not play next week.
Can I bring this up that Freak puts out here?
That was a hell of a catch he made. That was a hell of a fuck catch he made.
I'm not going to lie. Watching back at the All-22, he runs the option route better than Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin out of the slot. Both.
They said on the broadcast that he's probably the best route runner outside of maybe anybody.
I think he's the best route runner, period.
Yeah.
On the team.
I take the L on that one. I didn't like that signing. I didn't think it was very good. Turns out he's one of the better offensive players on this team. It's not saying much, but he is. I mean, I said every week that flare out is unstoppable.
Yeah.
He takes a little 2-yard dump off and he gets 10, 15 yards of whack.
He ran a beautiful option route on it was later in the game. It was the one that I think it was the one that ended up setting up the 4th down play. I mean, he toasted the linebacker. I mean, as soon as he put his foot in the ground up to head like it was a slant route, the linebacker tried to follow and he optioned back to the outside. Oh man, he toasted the dude. I mean, that's just none of our receivers have ran that kind of a route.
Make him the slot and use him and Jaylen Warren at the same time. Give defenses something to worry about. Tyrone, it's late in the podcast, and
We
we've
had
argued.
mixed feelings.
Yeah, we've argued for hours about George Pickens. I think it was a terrible trade. These two guys and David don't think it's such a bad trade.
I'm thinking Tyrone's seen the podcast once or twice because Dave goes on
he's
this
trying to-
rant every fucking week.
He's trying to
Yeah,
load me on. I can't do it. My energy's zapped now after arguing about Omar. I can't do both in one podcast.
I thought facts only here. And look, in the second and third game, you're right. But the first game last year against the Ravens, he actually did play pretty well. So,
Who's this now?
you know,
I'm sorry, I missed it.
facts only.
Patrick
said
Queen.
Patrick
Queen,
Queen
yeah.
gave up 200 yards. A lot of people helped give up the 200 yards, but the first game against Lamar, he was inspired and played pretty well. So you got to hope you
He
catch
did
that
play them
lightning
well
in
the
a
first
bottle.
game, but the playoff
Yeah.
game was an abomination. They all played terribly.
Yeah.
And if Harmon can't play this week, it's lights out.
Look, if I'm a quarterback, do I come out and kick Cam Hayward in the belly on the first play of the game? I
Probably.
think you do.
You're going to get a free 15 yards at some point.
And you're gonna take his mind out of the game too.
I mean, it's the defense. I said this last night, and I put it out on X. This is the worst defense we've had since '88. Okay, it just is. Statistically, it's bad in every category, and the '88
That's
defense
amazing.
might actually have been a little bit better.
Not
But they were
talent
both
wise, but
Not talent,
production wise. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right. Probably
and
right.
that
This has
got
been
Tony
bad.
Dungy fired. So
I mean, and they've been relatively healthy all year, for the most part. You know, this defense hasn't had a major injury like the offense is going through, so they don't have any fucking excuses.
yeah,
There's no excuse to be playing like this, except some of these guys are old. They might be running out of gas at this point.
It's time for us for a total schematic, and we said it ad nauseum, but it's worth repeating. It's time for a total, complete restructure of this entire team from top to bottom.
100%.
But it's not unless Art Rooney decides he's going to step down. Nothing will happen. Remember how we were promised change after the 5-game losing streak last year? You know who they changed? Nobody. Nobody.
No coaches. No coaches,
They-
right. They didn't change
Going
one
back,
coach.
they did not change one fucking coach.
No.
And you know what they're going to do this time if Art Rooney doesn't step down?
Same thing.
Nothing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful, but I'm not confident that something could happen if this gets bad.
Yeah.
We're in 3-game losing streak territory again. One
Yeah.
more every year for how long, Bob?
7 straight.
7 straight years of the 3-game losing streak. Could be 8. After
Yeah,
this
that's a
summer.
Hall of Fame coach right there. 7 straight 3-game losing streaks. Years with 3-game losing
It's
streaks.
bad. It's bad.
But
And we thought we had dodged it when they lost 2 in a row and won it, but now they're right back in it again.
I think they might dodge it again. It's going to be interesting. This is going to come down to
In
Derrick
Baltimore.
Henry because Lamar is not playing well. So this is
No,
going
he's
to come
not.
down to can they stop Derrick Henry? They couldn't last year. But
It
the
comes
game
down
they
to me
did-
if Harmon plays.
Yeah.
If Harmon
they-
doesn't play,
Yeah, they stopped Derrick Henry 1 out of 3 times last year, and they won that game. So if they can stop him, they can win. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter because I really feel like the last game of the year, Pittsburgh may be 7-9, Baltimore will be 8-8, and Cincinnati will be 6-11, and it'll come down to if the Steelers beat the Ravens, they're in, and if the Ravens win, they're in. I mean, that's how bad this division is. The Ravens suck. The Ravens aren't going to beat anybody in the playoffs either.
but the Ravens could turn it around.
No,
I don't
they
see the
can't.
Steelers turning around.
Lamar is something's wrong with Lamar.
Maybe he gets healthy. We don't know what's
It's
wrong
not-
with him, so
it's-
he could get healthy. Want some stats to chew on before we get out of here? Aaron Rodgers PFF stats the last 3 weeks, scores the last 3 weeks.
They're bad.
35, 42, and 45.
How did he get a score when he didn't play?
They
Well,
skipped a
it-
week.
yeah,
It was
last-
week
the
10
last
when-
3 that he's played.
Last 3 that he's played. Mike Tomlin has gone 62 straight games without scoring more than 7 points in the first quarter.
And we thought it was Matt Canada.
Oh my goodness. No defenses in the NFL has played more snaps than the Steelers, 820. No offense has played fewer snaps than the Steelers, 667. This is getting to be all. How are they 6-7? 6-6, 6-7, 6-6. How are they this? How do they win 6 games playing like this?
Aaron played at a high level the first 5-6 weeks.
That's what it was. That's exactly. Well, he played at a high level in the red zone for sure.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers on Sunday, 21 attempts, 10 completions, 117 yards, 5.6 yards per attempt. And
Keeps
before we
going
go,
down every week.
anybody want to take a swing at these rumors about Mike Tomlin going through something? I've seen wild stuff on the internet today.
Actually, I do want to say one thing about that. Okay, look, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't care if it's true or not. But this whole notion on social media that is somehow not fair game to talk about that, I would point you at Urban Meyer. I would point you at Bill Belichick. If this is true, and we don't know if it's true, but if it's true, it is fair to discuss it. Okay?
What are we talking about? Because I don't even know if what's true. You're gonna text it to me after because I don't. I haven't heard anything.
There's a rumor that
his wife's sick.
No, there may
that
be an issue in his personal life. I'll just leave it there because I don't.
I did hear that one too.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, we shouldn't be spreading that. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. If that's the case, then it's fair game.
Yeah,
he did it to himself.
I mean, they did it to Urban Meyer.
Yeah. No, if you do something like that,
yeah,
they do it to players. They air out the players' laundry if they do something like that. So,
yeah, I would like to hear that it's, true or not true.
I don't really believe it. I think Tomlin's focused on one thing and one thing only. It's football. He doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. But
it would explain.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
It would explain the "I don't give a shit" attitude at press conferences. It really has been. It's been a marked change this year.
If his wife is sick, it would really make sense. If she's going through something bad, then it would really all make sense. The shortness, the crankiness he's at the press conferences, all that. There's a lot of things that could explain it, but that would be one of them.
I think he's upset he didn't get to sign Dino Tomlin.
Jesus.
Also a possibility. Oh boy! Anything else, guys? Before we wrap this up.
No, other than fantasy, Unfocused Fantasy Football will be back on Wednesday. Please like, share, subscribe, support the podcast. Nothing says Christmas like a Steelers Sanctuary Cup. So
yes, hit that store.
I'll post the link in chat again. I posted it earlier.
Here we go podcast tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
You're not doing it with Clark, right? Because he's
not this week. He'll be back next week. So
is Colin making an appearance?
I'm gonna have to confirm that here. I still haven't confirmed with him yet, but
fingers crossed. Colin,
fingers crossed.
Will be on.
If not, enjoy a long ass rant by me by myself. Let's go.
I may be able to come on with you as a pinch hitter if necessary.
Me, I'm going to try to get on. We won't let you go unless you want to go solo. That's totally
I don't care. It's whatever.
I couldn't do it, man. There's no way. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that nonsense.
Yeah, guys, please. A lot of new faces in chat. Please like
that
subscribe. It really helps us out.
That helps us out a ton. Until next time, thanks for listening to Steel Sanctuary Podcast.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.